What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. So today I'm sharing 5 traps that are going to leave you poor. But you are in luck because now you're watching this video and you will avoid them. So there you go. The reason I'm making this video is because investing in the last year has been bat crazy. We have seen some of the largest single day drops in all of history. Then that was followed by the shortest bear market in history, followed by the single day highest surges in history, and now we're at new all-time highs. I've talked to other investors and seen people literally lose thousands of dollars because of these 5 pitfalls. Before we jump into today's video, please like the video. I really appreciate it. And of course, if you're not subbed already, hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out. Okay, jumping on to number 1, and don't get too cocky. Anyone in a bull market can actually get great returns, and you don't really necessarily have a special gift. It's just everything's going up. And that's how it's been for the last year. If you put your money in almost anything right after the COVID drop, you've made significant gains. When everything's going up, you start to believe that you are a special investor and you have that special touch. And sorry to burst your bubble, but that's not typically true. You begin to look over simple mistakes, not invest on fundamentals, and not manage your risk properly. Smart people understand that they don't know everything, and you have to be humble when you're an investor. It's an ongoing adventure, and even the greats like Warren Buffett and Ray Dalio admit that they are still students of investing. Sometimes you just have to admit that you were wrong, and you have to sell out of positions. Now, a lot of people who are cocky about investing will buy into a security because they are really prideful in that security, and they think that it will go up in value soon. These cocky investors don't know when to cut losses, and typically when they're buying, they are super prideful and super confident in that purchase, and then when it goes down, they're still as prideful and as confident. Number 2 is do not be too impatient, and everyone knows in investing there's really 3 main key variables. 1 is how much cash you have, 2 is your return on investment, and 3 is your time. Arguably, you can change how much cash you have, you can change your risk and your return on your investment, but you have a finite amount of time, and technically that's the most valuable because you can never regain your time. This is when people are buying into a security and it doesn't just surge up 50% every single day for the next week. I've seen this with peers of mine who have done extensive research into companies that are actually great companies. They invest and then they sell out within a month and a half, and it just boggles my mind because it's a great company. Why don't you just hold it for long term? And I'll give you a little clue on how investing works. Whenever you buy in, the next day it will always drop. And then the day that you sell, the following one, it will surge up at least 5%. It's just the way it goes. In the time in between where you're in and out of these positions, you are losing time in the market. And I am a firm believer that time in the market always trumps over time in the market. That's a pretty catchy phrase. You got to give that to me. This leads to impulsive decisions that can really damage your returns over the long term. Being patient can be one of the most valuable characteristics that you can have in investing and building wealth. It does take discipline and you got to be very strong-willed, although everyone can do it and it's not just something that you're born with. For the average trader and investor out there, the longer term investments always yield better returns for them. And I want to mention that just because the market averages, let's say 9.8% per year, that doesn't mean that it's actually going to go up 9.8%, then 9.8%, then 9.8%. It might go up 20% and then the following year be down 0.4%, and then the next year jump up 3% and then go up 12%, and then it averages out to 9.8%. Everyone knows that emotions should have no business in your investment decisions. Remember that time is on your side, and if you have done extensive research on a company and you really believe in it and you think it's going to go up, well, just hold it. Number 3 is do not over leverage yourself. And I'm not going to sit in front of you and be David Ramsey where it's like,
pay off all debt no matter what.
Nothing else matters except paying off debt. I believe debt can really be on your side if you use it properly. Debt can really help you, but you cannot go over the top with it. The analogy that I was told is debt is like a fire. If you tame it and take care of it, it can really treat you, as in cooking your food and keeping you warm. But if you walk away, ignore it, and don't really tame it and take control of it, well, it will burn your house down if you are not paying attention. Do it responsibly and make sure that you can control it. That means that you can pay it off in almost a moment's notice if you really need to, if anything really comes up at like a black swan event. Do not let it take over your portfolio, and this is a great time to lock in low interest rates. Number 4 is do not invest blindly, and what I mean by that is don't just go and invest in something because someone said it was a great investment. I don't care who it is, if it's the likes of Warren Buffett, Ray Dalio, or some Joe Schmo on the street. Just because someone else is investing in it does not mean that it is a great investment, or because someone made a bold thesis on the company and made it very appetizing for investors. We're all humans and we can make mistakes, and sometimes they can leave out critical information that can really turn around the investment. These uneducated decisions, you're just hoping that the other person is right. And it's your money that you're investing, and they have no ramifications if they are wrong. Always listen to multiple perspectives and do your own due diligence. Understand your investment fully as if you were going to run the company. And number 5 is don't have too much cash lying around. As if anyone really has that problem of it's like,
Oh, I have $100 million sitting in my living room. I wonder what to do with it.
But hear me out on it. You can lose money 2 ways by sitting on too much cash. The first is inflation, and inflation is when your buying power of that dollar slowly decreases year over year. This is anywhere between 1 and 3%, and the other reason why holding cash can burn you in the long term is opportunity cost. Every single day that you're not in the market and it goes up, well, you've lost that. And yes, I guess you could argue the opposite of where if you were out of the market and it went down, you avoided losing money. However, again, the market over the long term has consistently gone up. And again, going back, that time in the market always beats timing the market, where if you just consistently invest over time, you will turn out just fine. And even if you could time the market, it's nearly impossible because once it bottoms out, you don't really know if it's going to go down further or go up.
And then let's say it goes up a little bit. Well, you're assuming that the market bottom is, let's say, $50 and it went up to $55. Well, now you have that price anchored in your head that it's going to be $50, so you're not going to buy at $55 because $50 is a better deal.
And then this trend continues, and then you eventually just miss all the opportunity because you were too scared to buy in. Sorry for that rant. I feel like David Ramsey just ranting at people right now. No, don't confuse this with enough cash on the side to take care of yourself, pay mortgage, pay all your utilities, etc., and have a 6-month safety fund in the background just in case if something happens. I don't have any issues with that, and I also don't have any issues of holding some cash on the side just in case a good deal pops up. However, manage the cash position that you have because you don't want to have too much cash where you're losing out on a ton of opportunity and inflation day in and day out. Now, this was a really short, quick video, although I think it had some great content in it, in my personal opinion. Make sure you avoid these pitfalls, and you guys should do pretty well. Drop a like on the video, I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya.